The transport sector bears measures for the long weekend ahead. An influx of passengers is expected for the BSKE and Undas holidays. An opposition lawmaker files a complaint against former President Rodrigo Duterte for supposedly threatening her life. And jeepney drivers take their grievance to the streets again, hoping that this time government will listen. Fast, focused, and fearless, here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Denise Tan. It will be a long break for many with the upcoming barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections and Undas. Now, authorities are advising travelers to plan ahead. Here's Laila Pangilinan to tell us more.
The Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, or PITX, is prepared for the influx of passengers this Undas in cooperation with the LTFRB and Land Transportation Office. An estimated 1.6 million passengers are expected to travel over the long weekend.
Sa aming pong pagtaya, magmula October 27 hanggang sa November 6, hindi po bababa sa 1.6 million passengers ang inaasahan natin dadaan sa PITX. Ganun po kadami. Kaya naman talaga mahigting yung ating paghahanda. Hindi lamang Undas ang pinaghahandaan natin ngayon, kundi pati po yung barangay and SK election.
Despite the anticipated surge of passengers, PITX said that the terminal will not be too cramped.
Dahil nga napakahaba ng long weekend, nakikita natin na hindi tayo mako-congest like previous occasions. No? Kasi dati, siyempre, nagmamadali lahat. No? Halos lahat gusto makauwi ng at 31, at 30, di ba? Ngayon, since napakahaba ng bakasyon, ang tingin natin may spread out yung mga mag-uuwian sa kanilang probinsya at magluluwasan sa Metro Manila.
As a major transport hub, PITX emphasized safety as a top priority. The terminal is now taking proactive measures to ensure the roadworthiness of PUVs and the well-being of their drivers.
With the help of LTO, nagsasagawa po tayo ng mga random drug test a few weeks ago, no, sa paghahanda rito. In fact, nakakuha tayo doon ng 5 nagpositibo. No? So ito ginagawa natin para panatiliing ligtas yung ating mga paglalakbay.
To prevent the rush, passengers are advised to buy their tickets online. Doing so means avoiding long queues in ticketing booths and ensuring seats, especially if they're traveling down south. The LTFRB also confirmed that they have begun releasing special permits to over 700 buses traveling to northern and southern Luzon for the barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections and Undas. The LTFRB also extended the validity of the permits and, if necessary, the agency will approve more special permits to prevent stranded passengers. For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
And here are the other plans for the BSKE and Undas holidays. The MMDA is deploying 1,400 enforcers and extending their hours. A no absence, no leave policy will also be enforced to make sure that all hands are on deck for the influx of travelers. Inspections will be tighter at bus terminals while drivers and conductors will undergo random drug testing. The MMDA will likewise deploy officers in Metro Manila cemeteries to ensure security and order. For its part, the North Luzon Expressway, or NLEX, is deploying over 1,500 traffic toll and systems personnel. That's from October 27 to November 6. The NLEX management is expecting an increase of 10% in traffic volume during this period. To avoid the surge of travelers, motorists are advised to go on trips during non-peak periods. Airline companies have also rolled out travel safety measures and advisories. Philippine Airlines and Cebu Pacific are encouraging online check-ins to avoid long lines at the airport. This may be done 7 days up to 1 hour before the scheduled time of departure for domestic flights. For international flights, the head start is 4 hours before departure. PAL has also opened a pay lounge at the NAIA 2, which would also cater to passengers in the economy class. We're bringing you more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. Thanks for staying with us here on One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. More candidates in Abra have dropped out of the barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. As of October 20, 250 people have withdrawn their candidacy. 48 of them were running for barangay captain, while 88 were vying for a kagawad post. More than 110 candidates vying for a spot in the Sangguniang Kabataan Board have also bowed out of the race. Abra's elections office says most of those who quit already have relatives in various local posts. The withdrawal is meant to avoid eventual disqualification. Meanwhile, over 300,000 uniformed personnel will be securing the BSKE. The personnel are divided based on the security threat of each barangay. So far, more than 300 barangays are in the red category, or those with reported election-related incidents and security threats. The number coding scheme will be lifted during the upcoming barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. The traffic program will also be suspended on November 1 and 2 or during Undas. The MMDA urges passengers to follow traffic rules, use mass transport systems if they can, and plan travels. Moving on to another story, transport group Piston staged a protest today to call on the government to scrap the oil deregulation law. The fuel price spikes have already taken its toll on jeepney drivers and other motorists. Brian Basa with the details.
Aljan was not feeling good when he went to the gas station this morning. He earns an average of 500 pesos a day as a jeepney driver, which is considered meager, especially as oil prices started shooting up in July. The driver is feeling the pinch, especially today when diesel is more expensive again. Aljan is now looking for routes with more passengers to earn more.
Pila-pila na lang ako para sa pasahero, kaso ingat din sa huli. Bawal kami ron eh. Kapag may nanguhuli, alis na lang kami. Kasi pag wala ka sakay, wala, abunado, wala ka talang kikitain.
Local pump prices went up on Tuesday, October 24th, with diesel prices going up by 1 peso and 30 centavos per liter. Gas prices also went up by 95 centavos per liter, while kerosene is now more expensive by 1 peso and 25 centavos. The Department of Energy said global oil prices were driven mainly by the rift between Palestine and Israel.
Ang mga balita na nakalap namin na nag-contribute sa pagtaas, una yung pagbabalik ng uncertainty kung mag-e-escalate ba o hindi ang kaguluhan sa Gaza. Tapos October 18, nag-withdraw ng summit itong si Jordan. Kinancel niya yung naka-schedule ng summit sa mga Arab leaders at saka kay President Biden. And then meron ding pangyayari na yung Iran, nag-appeal siya na magkaroon ng oil embargo kay Israel, di ba?
In response to this, transport group Piston staged protests in several locations nationwide to ask the government to scrap the oil deregulation law. They said the recently implemented provisional fare hike of 1 peso did not do much to augment the income of transport workers.
Pagtingnan natin yung provisionary piso ay wala na siyang saysay. Linamon ito ng mga seri ng mga pagtas.
The Energy Department said motorists may expect oil prices to remain volatile. That's as global market players continue to speculate due to persistent geopolitical tensions and lingering economic uncertainty. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board has yet to schedule a hearing on the proposed 5 peso fare hike as requested by various transport groups. For News 5, I'm Brian Basa, and we are One News.
We now give you a quick look at today's other top stories. ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro has sued former President Rodrigo Duterte for grave threats. This stems from Duterte's statement in a TV interview. He said his daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte, will use her confidential funds against alleged communists. The older Duterte name-dropped Castro. In her complaint, the lawmaker said she now fears for her life following Duterte's remarks. Up to 100 Filipinos in Lebanon have already expressed intention of returning to the Philippines. The Philippine Embassy in Beirut earlier called for voluntary repatriation as fighting has spilled over to the southern border of Lebanon. That area is a stronghold of Hamas supporter Hezbollah. There are over 17,000 Filipinos in Lebanon. Manila Hotel opposes the reclamation of Manila Bay, noting the dangers it will pose to the iconic structure. Manila Hotel President Jose Lina Jr. said they have been raising concerns about the development and the flooding it could bring. Lina also cited the reclamation's possible effects on traffic and the Manila shoreline's natural beauty. 2 months ago, President Bongbong Marcos suspended all Manila Bay reclamation projects pending review of their compliance with environmental regulations. One News Now will be back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. I'm Denise Tan. We're One News, all sides, all the time.